So for under $300, a fully enclosed laser you can actually move around is a bit of a game changer. Now, I've been testing this Acmer K1 12-watt laser for a month to see if it's a legitimate tool for a small shop or if it's just a hobbyist toy. If you're looking for a portable solution for markets or a small workspace like mine, this is the space that Acmer is trying to own, and I think it's holding up pretty well. All right, guys, so quick disclaimer. Acmer did send this over to me free of charge. It is mine to keep, but no money exchanged hands. So all opinions in this review are my own. They do not get to tell me how I do these reviews. So if this thing is great, I'm going to tell you it's great. If this thing sucks, I'm going to tell you it sucks. But I think we're going to have a pretty good little machine on our hands. So let's get to the video and I'll show you what I learned. Here is the toaster-sized laser itself. Let's go over the specs. So this is the 12-watt version. It's a diode laser. So solid wood, leather, coated materials, things like that. No problem whatsoever. Now, this is a class 1, meaning it's eye safe with the lid closed, which is huge if you have kids or pets around, right? So setup was dead simple. Out of the box, engraving in under 5 to 10 minutes. No complex gantry assembly or anything like that. The laser slides right on. It couldn't be more simple. I have a full unboxing video either out or coming out that I will link in this video that you can check everything that's in the box, how you put it together, and get it going the first for your first run. All right, so the work area on this guy is kind of small. It's 150 by 150 millimeters, and that's 6 inches by 6 inches for those of us who go by a king's foot measurement. But it's manageable for specific projects. One thing that I did find with this is that specific materials were shifting around depending on how light they were or how susceptible they were to the exhaust fan in the back. Now, since the bed is flat with no honeycomb, what I did is I 3D printed a couple of jigs. So I have just a right angle jig if I want something square in there. It's got the holes in the bottom there for your magnets. And when I was doing some business cards, I made a jig here just for a couple of business cards, stuck some magnets to the bottom, stuck it to the build plate, which is great because the build plate is metal, it's magnetic, and this is going to keep your print or whatever from moving around on the bed. So that's, I would say it's kind of a negative on the machine itself, but if you have other means to create, which if you're getting into this stuff, I think it would be a safe bet to say that you do. You just 3D print something out, or you can even just take magnets and stick them around like I did. I'll show you before I printed these things out, and it worked fairly well. And again, these things keep everything squared up and stationary, which is critical because this machine doesn't have a camera or any kind of beam like a laser or a light to help you line up your positioning for your laser. All right, now, and if you're going to get serious too, I wouldn't waste my time with the basic software that comes with this. I would use LightBurn. Now, LightBurn was more intuitive to me. This is my first foray into engraving software, and LightBurn was a lot more intuitive to me for somebody who's done some 3D printing, some CAD design, than the software that came with this. It was, it was a little more clunky, but LightBurn seemed to work really well. And that's what I would use if you're going to try to get professional results with this. So I put this to work in my restaurant at Basil Bourbon. I engraved these Slate coasters that I'm going to splice in here, and the detail is crisp and the contrast is exactly what I wanted. I also ran some anodized aluminum business cards through, and at 12 watts, this thing has more than enough punch to strip through the coating clearly. Now, I've also been testing out some dog tags for my sister's kennel, and while the diode laser doesn't deep engrave stainless, it makes a mark deep enough and durable enough that you're going to be able to see it in the tag. And I've also got the anodized one, so you can really see the difference with the color. All right, my honest opinion. So it's not perfect. There's no built-in air assist, so you see a little bit of charring on the wood unless you rig something up. On my unit, I check the gantry for wobbles in the y-axis and any issues. It's something you should test immediately with a simple grid pattern to ensure that your belts and wheels are seated correctly. I had no issues at all with mine. which is great for quality control. Final verdict, bottom line, for $2.99, the K1 is a pragmatic entry point. It's for the guy who needs a dedicated portable station for small, high-value items like coasters, cards, anything that you're going to sell at a craft fair. But it's not a production powerhouse for things like large signs. But for what I'm doing with it, with Wolfe Media, and for my restaurant, it earns its keep. Links are going to be in the description. I will have a discount code, and I will have an affiliate link. I will make a little bit of money off of that, and I'd appreciate it if you buy through there. Hit subscribe if you want to see how I'm automating more of my workflow, and I will see you guys in the next one.